The debate is over around climate change. Just come to the state of California. Observe it with your own eyes. It's not an intellectual debate. It's not even debatable any longer.
Stop. What does this image symbolize for you? Likely something negative, associated with nuclear power, so let's talk about it. There's a great deal of opposition to the nuclear industry stemming from a number of legitimate concerns. The most prominent comes from the big three historical nuclear disasters. The 3 Mile Island incident was actually pretty harmless due to swift measures taken by authorities. Nevertheless, it became a key event in shaping America's public perception of nuclear safety, that is, completely unsafe. Chernobyl was an unmitigated disaster and, as noted here, largely caused by reckless human behavior. The damage done still lasts to today. Now, Fukushima is unique in that no human or mechanical error was technically at fault. This was purely a series of unfortunate natural disasters that only did what it did due to Japan's unique geographical location and placement of the reactors themselves. Now, other concerns beyond safety have also been brought up, as this shows. These are all serious concerns which are not adequately addressed with current generation reactors. Now, let's organize the key objections brought up to this point. Safety is probably number 1, followed by fuel/emission concerns, nuclear waste, price, and finally, nuclear's relative unsuitability compared to other renewables. Concerning, right? But the truth is, the US has already developed a next-generation nuclear power plant that addresses all of these concerns. It's called the Integral Fast Reactor, hereafter the IFR, first developed at the Argonne National Laboratory from 1984 to 1994. The name is key to understanding its function. The reactor was designed and built with the reactor, complete fuel cycle, and waste management forming a single cohesive system, hence integral. And unlike current third-generation reactors, the chain reaction involved is sustained by fast neutrons, and what it boils down to is a much higher efficiency in extracting energy. Further, this can be tuned to produce enough fissile material to replace what's been used, and what little waste is created comes largely in the form of short-lived isotopes that are a non-concern after a century or two. That is to say, an IFR would need no extra fuel beyond its initial load. And in fact, an IFR can actually use the nuclear waste we already have as fuel.
Every part of a complete nuclear reactor system, not the reactor itself, but also the facilities for treating the spent fuel, for treating the waste, would all be an integral part of the same system. What this enables you to do is you can take the spent fuel, chop it up, and back it goes into the reactor again. You can recycle the fuel.
The Argonne facility even conducted a safety test where all the safety and emergency systems were intentionally turned off, with any human interference barred, and the reactor's reaction documented, as you will see.
5 more. The predicted performance for the total loss of flow case shows an increase in coolant outlet temperature well below the boiling point of sodium, followed by a decrease to quite low levels as the negative reactivity inherent in the system takes over.
And during a more recent debate on nuclear power, Kirsty Gogan, the co-founder and executive director of Energy for Humanity, had this to say.
Slow, but actually those projects are first of a generation plants that have to be licensed with an inexperienced regulator. You have to qualify the supply chain, you have to train the labor force, you have to establish your siting process, and then you have to build it for the first time. We would expect to see at least a 30% reduction from the first of a kind to a second of a kind, and then further cost reductions with subsequent plants.
So, let's see. The IFR has an inherent passive shutdown mechanism, making concerns about its safety toothless. With the IFR being self-sufficient, the concerns about fuel usage, fuel mining, and fuel enrichment are rendered moot. Nuclear waste is also much less of an issue, as what little is produced decays much more quickly than current waste. Not to mention the IFR can use the waste we currently have. And going by what Gogan said, even the NPP's cost, that is the nuclear power plant's cost, can be expected to become much more reasonable over time. And even if it is more expensive, can we really let that stop us at this point? Now, the last point here is salient. Other renewables have made great strides and may well be able to provide all the power we need. But here's the thing, that's not guaranteed. And nuclear makes a great backup or supplementary option, even if we choose not to develop nuclear to its full potential. But if that is to happen, action needs to be taken now. You may be asking, well, I'm just someone in a 9-to-5 job trying to make ends meet. How could I possibly help? It's pretty simple. You can either write a letter to your congressman pushing for nuclear power, or just join and or donate to the American Nuclear Society at this website, or you could subscribe to the newsletter for the Partnership for Global Security. That's it. And remember, every little bit helps.